Hello duelist! Welcome to my PK deck profile and my very first video on my YouTube channel. So I wanted to give you a show of how my deck performed and tell you how it did. I am currently 9-0 with this build. This is a pre-BODE build, but I will show you a post-BODE build as well. 9-0, one of my last two tournaments at locals with it. It is locals, but it is all competitive decks there, from Dragon Link, Sky Striker, Tri Brigade. You know, all the works are there. But let's not wait too long and get right into it. So we're gonna start off with our 3 Torn Scales. Nothing really out of the ordinary about that. Pretty standard. He's a great starter card. You discard a card, send a Phantom Knight card to the grave, and when you banish a Phantom Knight card while he's in the grave, he can special summon himself. So he's a great extender all on his own. Speaking of extenders, one of the other best ones is Phantom Knight Boots. I do play 3. I see a couple playing 2. I don't really agree with that. I feel like this deck can struggle getting your start going, and I feel like you want to grind through all your hand traps, so I would definitely recommend 3. He just special summons while you control a Phantom Knight card in the field, and you can banish him to search for a Phantom Knight trap or spell, but we don't play any spells. Currently only playing 1 Cloak right now. I am going to bump him up to 2. I only have the 1 right now, but I haven't really needed the second one. I just like it for potential other needs. So 1 so far for right now. Then I have Greaves. A lot of people don't play him, but I love him. He's another great extender. He's essentially another Boots, where if you special summon a Phantom Knight card, he can special summon himself. And if you so choose to, you can increase his level by 1 to make him a level 4. Also, while he's in the grave, you can banish him, special 1 from your hand, and you can also, if you want to, make that a level 4 as well. And for the last of the Phantom Knight cards, just Gloves. This is usually one of the first cards I send to the graveyard because it helps play around cards like Nibiru. So worst case scenario, I can send either a monster I need or one of the Phantom Knight trap cards so I can get my Reborn going. A card that is really good, but I hate it so much currently, is Tour Guide from the Underworld. I am probably going to cut this card for more of the E-Telly package cards. You'll see in a little bit, I am playing a little bit of them, but this will be for more of them. It just hurts too much when you get Veilered, Ash, or Imperm. E-Telly can kind of play around Imperm and Ash, while this can't. I mean, Imperm and Veiler, sorry. But this can't really. They Veiler Imperm this, you're out of luck. If they had the Ash anyway, then the E-Telly wouldn't have mattered, but probably going to cut that for 2 E-Telly and 1 Ghost Ogre. And I have 2 other psychics in the deck, but we'll go over that a little bit later. 2 Burning Abyss cards, kind of have to play these, Graph and Seer. Some people play the, I think it's Libic, where it specials 1 from your hand. To me, that's just another brick. I want to minimize on all the bricks as possible. If I draw these, it's unfortunate, but you can still abuse them with such cards like Scales, so you can discard 1 of them to bring back your Cherubini to get your Appaloosa play going really easily, but just these 2 is enough. And because I played Tour Guide, I want to try to chain block with the Ash Blossoms. I play Kagamucha Knight. I am playing 3. Most builds you'll see will only play 2. If I'm cutting the Tour Guides, these are probably going to get cut as well, or go down to 1 or 2. I haven't really decided that yet. Probably the 2 best extenders, the Danger Package. The Danger Package, you know, allows me to draw a card. Worst case scenario, I can also pitch them off Torn Scales and still get effects and continue going off. But these are probably the 2 of the best cards in the deck. Last 2 extenders, Psychic Package. Like I said, probably going to add 2 E-Tellys and a Ghost Ogre. So I have make up for the Tour Guides. And then maybe find something else. Maybe bump these up even a little bit more for the Kagamucha Knights instead. But who knows? We'll see. And currently, before BODE is officially released, I am playing the Dragoons package. This will become the Destiny Hero package, as I believe Phoenix and Forester is just a lot stronger than Dragoons. Dragoons seems to get easier and easier to out with every new set. And only 1 type of hand trap, and that's Ash Blossom. I'm not really a big fan of hand traps right now. Everyone's playing, you know, Talents, which hurts a lot. And Ash just seems to be the one that hurts the decks the most generically. I have considered playing, you know, 3 Nibiru instead, which I see some builds doing, but Nibiru doesn't really do much unless they go off. And I'd rather at least Ash with worst case scenario, I can normal her and special summon one of my level 3s from my hand like Kagamucha Knight or one of the psychic cards. And then keep my play going. That's it for the monster lineup. For my spell lineup, as I had mentioned just a minute ago, triple tactical talents. This card is insane. I'm going to play the 3 of this card probably in every deck forever. The amount of times I draw 2 and, you know, beta Dragoons out with 1 and still take their other, activate a second one to take their Dragoons just for game is insane. And so many times I've also, you know, I've done my full combo. Even if they interrupted me, I can still combo off because this deck's very good at that. And I can rip a card out their hand. Now they're at, you know, 4 cards instead of their normal 6 if they're going second. Or I've also had it where they did stop my combo and I needed some extenders, so I draw 2. You know, Pot of Greed is always great. Forbidden Droplets is what I'm playing right now. I rarely resolve this card. I just haven't really see it, so in testing I don't really know yet. It's good in theory. You can send cards from your hand to the grave to help, you know, out some cards like a Crystal Wing for Virtual Worlds, Dragoons, Appaloosa. So many options. But I feel like Dark Ruler No More can do the same exact thing. The only difference is I can just set this, but every time I had this, I never set it. I usually keep it in my hand because I want to make sure they don't get rid of it with some spell or trap removal, and then it's just useless. So I try to keep it in hand, but if I'm going to keep it in hand, might as well have Dark Ruler No More. But it does also help beat over monsters, I guess. For my one-offs, Called by the Grave. Might honestly cut it at this point. I don't really get to use it that much because either they have the hand trap, and even if they did, I just talent them anyway, and that seems a lot better most times. It's still good, and I might keep it just because Phoenix Enforcer is such a strong card. But if I need to cut room for something, that might be one of the first cards to go. Foolish Burial, one of your extenders, gotta play it. Rhoda, same thing, one of your other extenders, so you kind of have to play it. And just for now, Red Eyes Fusion because I'm playing the Dragoons package. Maybe a little controversial in the traps, but I believe in only playing 2 Fog Blade instead of 3, and then 1 Night Swing and 1 Shade. Now, it is very common to play at least these ones, but usually a lot of people will play 3 of this. I don't want to play 3 because 1, I should never have to set that many. Usually I only need to set 1, at most 2. Usually what I'll do is just use the second one for a Reborn card. Because usually I'm ending turn with an Appaloosa, 3 negates, this, and possibly a Dragoons. I don't see myself needing 6 negates. If I can't win with the 5 negates, I think that's already a problem. So usually I just use these guys for Reborn. The only thing I might consider changing is making this the rare one, where it gains 800 attack and can still Reborn. Because once I've used all my Appaloosa, I can actually just equip it to my Appaloosa and make it gain 800, have 1 additional negate. 40 card main deck. I would say it's pretty standard, but from the builds I've seen recently, it's kind of different. But it is, I feel like, the most consistent version pre-BODE. But for the extra deck, we obviously play some Phantom Knights. But I'll start with the Link monsters. The Link 4s, it's Boral Sword, Access, and Oppo. I haven't made Boral Sword yet, and it's probably going to get cut because usually almost every time I would make this, I just make this instead. Oppo you have to play, but I like this just for the option to help beat over some things, but he's always, you know, 5,000 or something attack, which is usually how much he's going to be at when he uses his effect. Attacking twice is good, but I don't really need to attack twice when I can just clear their board. So probably one of the first cards I'm going to cut. For my Link 3s, just Nightmare Unicorn and Rusty. Pretty standard, got to play these. Helps outgate a lot of options, and this gets your combos going. Just like Cherubini, who's the next of the Link 2s. And then IP and Anaconda. IP, I am considering cutting. I made it only maybe 1 time. But usually, like, I go straight into my Appaloosa on my first turn. And usually Nightmare Unicorn comes up later. So there's nothing really for me to IP into. So that's probably another card I'll cut. And I'll tell you what I'll put in for the Boral Sword and that if I do cut them. Link Spider, you got to play this just because the shade. That's a normal monster when it's summoned, so you link it off for Link Splash so you have an effect monster, so you can help make Anaconda to get your combos and plays going. Probably going to bump it up to 2, but I haven't really needed to yet. Break Sword. Just play the 1 right now. That's an option to replace my Boral Sword or IP with to play the second one. But 1 seemed good enough so far, but I have sometimes late game needed maybe a second one, but like I said, this deck's currently 9-0, so I haven't really needed it. 2 Leviaires. I rarely make the second one, but I wanted it for just in case. So it's probably another card I'm going to end up cutting and keeping the 1 in for sure. So another option to replace of a card, but definitely going to play the 1. Really random. Time to for Doer. I wanted something to summon off my Break Sword, and this seemed like the best card at the time. Evil Swarm Nightmare is another option. I just never really had it come up. And the Raiders Knight also never really came up. So I just went with this because I can steal cards from my opponent, and he always usually stays on field, or I get to draw a card. So he's pretty helpful. I like him a lot, but can possibly cut him. Last 2 cards is going to be Zeus. I have not made this card 1 time. It just hasn't come up. Usually when my turn 1 board, it's just unbreakable and it's game already. Or if I am late game, I just never had the chance to really make him. So I'm not going to say I'm going to cut him, but it is an opportunity to cut a card and try something else. But he is there to be helpful. My last card is just the Dragoons. This will become Phoenix Enforcer. So great card. Just I like Phoenix Enforcer more because I get a pot degree and I get a card that comes back every turn. And I get a pop. Side deck. Side deck's very unique. I wanted to try some new things this weekend. There's nothing too super special except for 2 cards. The first cards we got are Banker Tops. Pretty standard. Very good going second. Definitely going to keep playing it. Still doing 2 Lancias. Usually with my hand traps in a side build, I only side 2, but I side multiple different ones. Because when you side in 3, I don't want to draw too many of the same hand trap. So usually what I'll do is cut one of my ashes in my main deck, side in 2 of this, and maybe 2 Droll depending on the matchup, which is our next card. So it really depends. Now my last hand trap that I'm siding that nobody plays, and probably because it's bad, but I have a common theme of going to time, and I'm tired of losing time by my opponent summoning a kind and getting 100. So I am trying Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. And this card actually won me a few duels. Not necessarily in time. That option never really came up yet. But playing against Dragon Link, I just wait till they're about to go off. I discarded this and I went all the way to like 36,000 life points. So that was pretty helpful. That stopped them pretty much, and they couldn't kill me even when I couldn't combo out for a while. Back row removal, just 1 Harpies, 2 Storms, so it's either essentially 2 more Harpies or a Regeki, and also 2 Twin Twister. These are probably going to get cut for Dark Ruler no more if I don't end up maining it over the Forbidden Droplets. But I like it so far. Very rarely do I need to pop the monsters, but good players are usually going to summon their good monsters in defense mode when they go first. But it has won me a few games. Last 3 cards are 2 Anti-Spell and 1 Imperial Order. I do want to play 3 Anti-Spell because I do want more going first cards, because all of these are pretty much for going second. So I'm even going to try to find room for a 3rd Anti-Spell and keep the order, obviously. But that's it for the main side. Some of the cards I was talking that I would swap out. Possibilities. Definitely going to put in the Phoenix Enforcer. Part of the E-Telly package if I replace the tour guides. I don't have 2 E-Tellys yet, but I am considering that the Destiny Hero package and Dasher to replace the Dragoons. And like I said, maybe try playing the Nibiru over the Ghost Ogre. The Ash Blossoms, to see how that goes. I might give it a test this weekend. We'll see. But as far as my main changes, like I said, it would just maybe be the tour guides and maybe cutting, these cards from other cards. Like I said, maybe a 2nd Break Sword. And that's honestly really all I can think of right now. I had some other cards in mind. Maybe number 80, Rhapsody, Nightmare, Phoenix, and maybe an Evil Swarm Nightmare. Don't really know yet. Maybe a Downward Magician as well for the Zeus, but like I said, I've never really summoned Zeus, so it hasn't really come up. But if you guys like this deck profile, please like and subscribe to the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys later.